Removing your soul, this time on Sailing HideAway. Well, we're going to start on trying to remove the existing floor or sole if you're of that persuasion. All the trim pieces looks like they're going to have to come off. So far it's been fairly straightforward. See how easy that is? Ha! I can assure you that that took a while. There's a few screws, some are hidden. We'll show that as a photo. There are screws on both sides of this, and some of them are fairly well hidden, but they're not impossible. Yeah, this is the fascia of the settee sides removed, it's just a matter of backing out screws and doing a little prying here and there. The difficult part's going to be trying to get it back in, I think, rather than getting it out. My next concern is right about there. It almost looks like the front piece that holds the sink up and the stairway down here will have to come out in order to remove the flooring. I'm talking about this piece here, which looks like it's had some damage anyway. So I may have to rebuild that. And then we'll just work our way around and get this all out. Hopefully it won't be too big of a mess. Although you could certainly be fooled by it at the moment. Well, the painting process took longer than I anticipated. So now when we're getting into the major project of replacing the sole, it's hot. It's up in the 90s today. So this was the weather I wanted to avoid, but that's not going to be possible. So if you don't mind, I'm going to turn my air conditioner back on. Not crazy about the sound it makes, but it certainly is a bit refreshing. Well, on to the job. This is going to take a while. Stay with us. No need to use a power driver on this. I think it would be dangerous anyway. So we're going to just use these handheld things. Now, for the most part, this is pretty simple stuff. Just pull out some screws, and I did have a little tug to get that off the first time, but that's what you see when you get that far. So there's a layer of paneling right here that's going to have to come off. I think I'm probably going to have to pull off this piece of trim before I can quite do that. And I've just been taking a flat putty knife. Oh yeah, it comes right up. You see my problem with the flooring here. Pretty well shot. Looks like that. Looks like that's the problem child. There. It's held in place by finish nails. See that, so you can kind of pull them off that way. I think it's in pretty good shape. There's some good news. The plywood stops at where this tape fiberglass comes up. That's wood, it sounds like. But this is good news. I was afraid that this paneling would go underneath the settees there, and if it does that, then we do have a problem. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I might have to take off another piece. Okay, you can see where this tab will, well, there, it's going to come right out. There, that piece is out. Okay, so that's good. Hopefully this good luck will continue. It's going to get more difficult in a few moments though. Well, let's see if we can get this to come off now. Not budging. Sometimes it, notice it gets hung up on this. This is just a little piece of trim. This is in there pretty tight too. Move. Well, come on, guys. This would be a whole lot easier if I actually knew what I was doing. But I don't. Well, it should come out. Yeah, it turned out to be this top nail was holding that in. So let's see if we can just pull all this out. It's in hard down here, I know. I'm taking the first one out. It's tough. There it goes. Okay. Now we'll persuade this little guy out. But I suppose somebody glued this thing down, and if they glued it down, we're going to have an issue. As if there aren't issues involved with this project. Well, let me get some more pry bars and we'll see what we can do. Of course, the actual pry bar that I'm looking for, I can't find. It'd be perfect for the job, but it has somehow disappeared. So we have our choice of nut remover, but these newer ones have a little bit of a lip on them. So let's see what we can do with that. Well, I can't really pry against this part because it's too fragile. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, this might be better than I thought. Get rid of some of that stuff. Part of the problem is I'm sitting on this too. Oh no, it can't be this easy. Huh. I think I can just pull that out from underneath. There. Look at that. Look at that. Woohoo! Wow, so if you've ever wondered what what's underneath your sole, it looks like that's concrete. Yeah. And I can't say that it looks like it's concrete, but it's the most solid thing I've seen so far. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now on the HideAway we have carpeting in the V-berth area, and we're having a discussion as to what we want to do with that. Of course, it's been there for the life of the boat. But it doesn't look like that's going to be a big problem to change it out if that's what we decide to do. I'm thinking I want carpet in there again, but I'm not the only one that makes that decision. So we'll get with the boss here, and we'll see if we can come to an agreement. We also have to settle on the type of flooring we're going to have. This looks like an inconsequential piece of wood. But it's not. This is a piece that goes right here, and that's what hides the seam when all the trim pieces are back in. So we're going to hang on to that little guy and continue the fun which right now looks like it's going to be a major cleanup. I think I'm going to probably take this out and rebuild it. It's just a particle board with some rather cheap looking design on it. I think I'd rather get a chunk of oak or something and finish it up real nice. But that's kind of a minor thing. I'm just absolutely thrilled that this came out so easy, and that the floor is pretty level. You know, we're not really seeing a lot of aberration in it. I can see the whatever I put down here is going to be limited at least by that distance, which looks to be about 1/4 of an inch. I say it is limited because if that changes, then I believe a lot of my trim's going to change too. And not being a trim carpenter, or any type of carpenter for that matter, I really don't want to have to do much trim work. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a much more difficult job than it was. Now, given the age of the boat and all, you can see the glue down there has failed a long time ago, probably from the rainwater intrusion over the last 40 years or so. So I'm not surprised to see that. It's a nice level surface, it looks like. I'm not going to have too many gaps to fill. That opens up the door to several different kinds of flooring, I think. So today on Sailing Hideaway, the job was to remove the cabin sole. That's that chunk of plywood and or teak and holly flooring that you step on and get wet and it gets rainy and all that kind of stuff, and eventually it's going to peel. That's what's happened to the Hideaway over the last 40 years. So today we're going to try to take that out. Doesn't look like an easy task, but it turned out to be quite a surprise. I was able to take it out using a tire iron. This isn't an ordinary tire iron, it's a newer one with a lip, and that's all I needed to pry the sole up. So we got lucky there. Came right out. Over the years the glue had failed, which is not a surprise when you consider how long it's been in the environment that it's in. In fact, in taking out all the trim, there was only one piece that came out in pieces. This is the support for the cabin step. Now, of course, it came out in 3 pieces, as you noticed, but I was able to grab my trusty roll of duct tape, which no sailor should be without, mind you, and I was able to take my good, friendly gray duct tape and put it back onto this piece, so now I have a pattern I can trace. Very important. All right, so I'm going to rebuild this, and it's going to be real wood instead of whatever this is. Duct tape is a very important tool for a sailor. You use it for all kinds of stuff, making this pattern, and also fixing anything you can imagine that needs to be fixed. Now, this refitting Hideaway is a full contact sport. You get paint and goop all over the place. You get paint and goop in places you would never believe, and you break things. Job today, removing the sole and the carpeting in our boat, cost me a really good pair of shorts. But with my handy dandy roll of duct tape, I was able to take care of that. Everybody has favorite shorts, and this was mine. And I realize it's pretty much gone. But I've added some time to it by my handy dandy roll of duct tape. Don't set sail without it. Well, with all that, all the parts are taken out, all of the pieces are ready to go. The effort now is not going to be on board as much as it's going to be sourcing materials and putting things together here in the great and wonderful Hideaway shop, otherwise known as my garage that hasn't seen a car in 30 years. In the meantime, though, it's time to relax with a beer. You might notice it says Hideaway on it. You can put yours on here too. Oh my God, was that a commercial? Ah! Salute!